Doris, your family goes back a long way in Braemar.
It does, yes.
What's the story of the family?
Well, I should have asked more, of course, but I think they originally came from up in Varai. I think like Charlie Stewart, I think he was called the King of Inverary or something. He's related to me some way in the Stewart side, yes, And well, I think my grandfather's father must have gone down to Edinburgh to work. And he lived in Edinburgh, and he had a sister called Annie. But both his parents died, and they were brought back to Braemar, to Tomintoul Farm, to be looked after by a relative there. So my grandfather and his sister, they were young children at the time. So they were orphaned, and they were brought up to Tomintoul to be looked after by a relative there. Otherwise, I think they would have been shipped to Australia or somewhere else. So they were fortunate they weren't shipped over to Australia. Yes.
So where were you born?
I was born in Kingston upon Thames in London. Yes.
But what were your earliest memories of Braemar then?
Earliest memories? Going down to Gordon's to collect the buckrays in the morning. Maybe.
That was Gordon and the Bakers.
Gordon's and the Bakers, yes.
Tell me about the bakehouse there.
The bakehouse there. Well, I remember going in, and just inside there were stacks of shelves there with trees with the buckrays and the baps in the morning, and I used to be sent down to collect them, so I could remember the smell, yes. And also my mother used to send me over to Grant's Garage to collect fish. I think fish came up from Aberdeen on the bus, and I remember going over there in the dark in the winter collecting fish, yes. And I remember all the old-fashioned roses and all the gardens here, because I remember I used to stop at them all to smell them. I
Different perfumes.
Still remember them. And unfortunately, they are no longer at some of these cottages now. The present owners have removed them. Yeah.
There are still a few around.
Oh, still there.
There's one down by opposite on Rocky Lynn, in fact.
Is there still one there?
Yeah, there's still one there. These old bushes, the yellows and the pinks.
Well, I remember it was this old Scotch yellow, I think it's called. There used to be one at Albine. Is it Albine? Where?
Albany.
Albany, yes. There used to be one there, but that was removed. I remember that.
Yeah, it was a beautiful one there.
It was,
and it was prolific.
I think there was one up this Clooney Side Road as well, but I'm not too sure about that.
So did you go to school in Braemar at all?
I did. I started school here with Connie and Julie. Yes, I'm still friends with Connie.
And what was the school like then? How many pupils were there? Was it?
Oh, I can remember the smell of hot cocoa going up the corridor. And I can remember that we used to get this in the morning. I remember that. Well, I won't say anything about the headmaster. Better not.
So how many pupils would have been in this school?
Oh, I'm not too sure. I can't remember. I think there were quite a number of pupils there.
So your class, you mentioned two of the girls in your class. Was that your complete class, or were there more?
No. There would have been quite a few others, but Connie was my friend, and I remember Julie being there. I remember Marybelle Gordon.
Mrs. Farquharson's daughter.
Yes, Mrs. Farquharson's daughter.
Was she in your class?
She was, yes. I remember her well, yes. Yes. I remember saying to her face was very shiny, and I remember asking her why was her face so shiny, and I think she said she put Nivea cream on it for the elements in the winter time. Yeah, I remember that. Yes.
So, what did you do when you were here? Where did you play?
Where did I play?
Who did you play
we were
with?
free to roam, weren't we? Up in the games park, hide and seek. Yes, I remember that. Up the Clooney Side Road, where the seat is now, we used to go, in the water there. And I can remember some of the summers were quite hot, because I can remember the tar melting on the road, and we were walking on it barefoot, I remember. Yes.
You
we
were
used to get
barefoot?
some very hot days then, I remember, yeah.
Yeah.
And I remember, of course, food was scarce and you couldn't, access various products, but I remember making strawberry tarts, and it was artificial cream, I think, yes. I remember that well.
So where did the strawberries come from? Were they grown here or
Oh yes,
across the hill?
Mrs. Henry had a strawberry in her, Mrs. Henry stayed in the large house, because, well, it was Henry's shop, wasn't it? I'm not sure whether her husband was still alive then or not, but it was still called Henry's. And she had strawberries there, and my grandfather used to look after her gardens. And
So which house was that, Doris? Which was their house?
the large house where Kate stays just now.
Oh, yes.
Mrs. Henry
because
stayed
you
in
were
that,
in the
and
wee house
we
there.
stayed in the wee house, yes, with cold water and an outside toilet. Paraffin lamps, I remember. Paraffin lamps, yes.
Which most of the village was
Yes.
like that.
Was it then?
Outside toilets.
Yes, I remember that well, yes. Well, you didn't know any different then, did you? No, you didn't, no.
How did the village feel at that point? Did it feel like a safe place to be? Was it?
Oh, absolutely safe. I think you could still say today it's a safe place, is it not?
It is.
I think so. Maybe not quite as safe as it was then, but no one locked their doors, of course, then.
What brought you back to the village?
Brought me back? Well, I've always considered it home. Always home, yes.
Isn't that strange? And so many people who
Yes.
leave Braemar do come back.
Yes.
And what is the pull of it? What brings us all back?
Well, it's always been home to me. I was here as a child, and you have all these memories. And when we lived in Aberdeen, I took my children here every summer holiday. No holidays abroad then. I wanted them to love Braemar too, which they do, of course, because they've all returned to Braemar. They're all living here now. Yes.
It's a very interesting pull, that, isn't it?
Mhm.
That
Yes,
it
but
does pull us all
It is.
back.
It's just I've lived in London and I've worked in Portugal. I lived in Portugal for a number of years and I worked there. But I always knew I would come back here. Yeah, I always knew I would come back here.